My uncle came out soon after and he had become pretty much unhinged in prison. He was even more mercurial, he didn't have an inside voice anymore, he was unable to form a sentence without 20 swear words, and he was very strict and aggressive with people around him. We were at a bar that a family friend owned and some guy jokingly said, "Haha F you man," after my uncle said something to him. So my uncle punched him in the mouth, choked him, and kicked him in the head. The guy wanted to call the police, so my uncle beat him down again. The bar owner had to pay the guy off and calm him down, while 3 other guys and I held my uncle down. This was around the time that the Mafia started to decline. A lot of RICO cases got handed out, a lot of family and friends got incarcerated, shootouts happened, people kept disappearing, running away, turning state informants, and so on. One day, our house was raided by the police at 7 in the morning. I got arrested, but released shortly after. My dad was kept in prison for a year while they deliberated his case, but they couldn't really charge him with anything. During that year that my dad was in prison, our accounts were mostly frozen and we were heavily monitored by the FBI. Their cars would visibly be parked in front of our house. This was around the time I became heavily involved. My family was struggling with money. One of my sisters had gone off to college and it was difficult financially for the family, so I started working with my uncle. There was no real initiation, but I did have to prove myself in a way. My uncle threw me into various jobs and scenarios where he wanted to see how I would react. It was fun for him. One night my uncle called me up in the middle of the night, and told me he had killed someone and needed me to help him get rid of it. I immediately got a bunch of equipment together and stood outside in the freezing cold waiting for him to drive up. He eventually did. He was insanely drunk and he looked panicked. We drove to a secluded area and he opened the trunk. He had ran over someone's garden gnome. He started laughing, then told me to drive him home because he was just too drunk to drive. I didn't find it funny, but he still tells that story when he's drunk to this day. Officially, I was employed at a car shop where my job was car mechanic, but I spent most of my days running errands, taking apart stolen cars, helping steal cars, hiding cars, and so on. My uncle and I started pressing some people for money. My uncle gave me a tire iron and told me to break a guy's kneecaps when he refused to pay some money that my uncle had loaned him.